Let's do this. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. On February 14th, 2005, a video sharing platform known as YouTube was launched by Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim, who sold the website to Google just over a year after launch on October 9th, 2006 for $1.65 billion. Since then, YouTube has evolved alongside the internet and has defended its title being the world's largest video sharing platform. As of today, the platform sees an estimated 2.70 billion users worldwide, having a billion monthly users accessing the platform, creating 6 billion hours of watch time per month. These viewers are also from all across the globe, with 80% of users being from outside of the US. But why am I nerding out and lecturing you, my dear audience, on the history of this great platform? It is simple. YouTube has played a significant role in my life, just as it has been a prominent figure in the lives of billions of other kids, teens and adults alike. Since it was launched, YouTube has offered a place for society to come together and share a unanimous passion for content creation. Albeit early days, the platform was used to share short, funny videos and memes online, and that is still the case to this day. The way in which users have used the platform has evolved over time, and so YouTube itself has also seen changes as the users shape what the platform has become. And so now a career path would ultimately present itself thanks to YouTube and its users. Enter content creators. Having grown up in the early 2000s, it was only natural for me to find myself drawn to the platform and discovering the passion that helped the site thrive. Although the memories are now distant, I still remember those early days where I found myself mesmerized by the content that I would find on YouTube. From comedy skits channels such as Fred, The Annoying Orange and Smosh, gaming videos from the likes of Stampy Longheads, DanTDM and popular MMOs, to even animators and storytime series made by the odd ones out, Jaden Animations and Bruce Do Films. Because growing up and losing myself in these types of stories and videos, I would find myself idolizing these creators and being inspired to want to grow up and pursue a career in content creation. Whilst YouTube wouldn't be the only factor, considering my upbringing watching many classic films and shows which inspired my passion for cinema and filmmaking, it was YouTube that would lend a hand and offer me a platform to act on those desires. And so, it would be on March 1st, 2016, that a 9-year-old Max would finally learn how to create a YouTube channel, marking the beginning of my 10-year journey into content creation. All whilst continuing to consume a new and old talent on the platform, which remains to fuel my passion and drive me to produce my own products and offer the internet my own talents and creativity, sharing that with others just like myself. Now looking back at the 10-year journey of my own creativity and how the much longer journey of consuming has inspired my own actions and sense of self, I want to reflect on 3 key points during that time to come and understand how YouTube has truly impacted me as an individual. So today, let's compare the differences and similarities in content that I grew up consuming compared to where I watch now, and especially how much I used to consume and how much I still consume. Next, I'll look at my own content over the past decade and observe how the influences from consuming has inspired and impacted my own journey in content creation. And lastly, I wish to discover how I am observed from an outside perspective in regards to the idea of consuming versus creating. So let's get into it. In the early days, the YouTubers that I found myself gravitating towards were the likes of Stampy, DanTDM, and Pat and Jen, and others by association or just produce similar videos. It was these gaming-focused creators who most notably played Minecraft that I found appealing to myself as a kid, as Minecraft was one of the most popular games at the time and remains popular to this day. In particular, these creators would utilize the game in different ways, with Stampy showing his journey as he built a lovely world with his friends, whilst DanTDM leaned more into the storytelling opportunities of the game, combining gameplay and adventure that all revolved around a lab. Remember the lab. And then we have popular MMOs, Pat and Jen, who focused on the community-created features of Minecraft and made countless Lucky Block videos over the years. But it wasn't just Minecraft-related content that engaged me. I found myself drawn to a corner of the platform that specialised in animated storytime videos, with James the Odd Ones Out and Jaden Animations being the front faces of the niche community at the time. Not only did I fall in love with their stories, but I too fell in love with the possibilities of animation, and I developed admiration for the passion put into the genre and content, of which fueled my own passion for animated media, and I would go on to seek others such as Bruce Do, who would do the same. These creators would be my primary source of entertainment through primary school and into comprehensive school, as these would be the people that both myself and my friends shared an interest in and looked up to. I would find myself using every moment outside of school and outside of playing games with my friends on our own Minecraft worlds on the Xbox to watch the videos of these YouTubers, perhaps watching these individuals more than I used to watch films back then. But I'm thankful that I was monitored and my parents made sure I wasn't spending too much time watching YouTube, and I had a good balance of films too. And compared to these days, I still find myself watching many of the same people I did back then, with DanTDM still uploading, and I followed the Minecraft YouTube scene into a group known as Hermitcraft, who all share a Minecraft series together and spend seasons building whilst sharing laughter and moments together. As well as the Minecraft genre, the animation scene stuck at my side whilst I continue to consume on YouTube, with Brusu now being my favourite, and I find myself drawn into animated web series such as Inanimate Insanity, Has-Been Hotel, and The Amazing Digital Circus. Then even the comedy videos and skits from the early days of YouTube found a way to reshape themselves to puppet videos that utilise adult humour, also known as SML. So whilst I may not use YouTube as much compared to my younger self, and would much rather invest in a film or TV show, when I do find myself on the platform, which is still at least like an hour a day, the type of content that I consume and admire has yet to change, and if anything has just evolved alongside YouTube as a whole and opened new opportunities of inspiration for myself as a consumer. As mentioned earlier, it was on the 1st of March 2016 that I created my very first YouTube channel, and it didn't take long for my first series to begin, as only 8 days later, a passionate younger version of myself uploaded the very first episode of a Minecraft survival series by the name of It's Minecraft Time. This series in particular was the result of my consumption of Stampy's content, specifically his lovely world, alongside a different YouTuber by the name of Think Noodles also influencing the direction that I took the series. I maintained this series for 14 episodes through to July of the same year before I abruptly ended it, as shortly after I would lose access to the very first channel that I was unable to continue. However, as of 2025, I began a new series on my current channel by the name of Our World, which followed the same premise, being a Minecraft survival, and this time it was purely Stampy's lovely world that was my driving inspiration for beginning the series and bringing it to life, as it's currently ongoing with 16 episodes. However, as we go back to March 2016, it wasn't just Stampy that inspired me to create my own content, as it is clear through a series I began shortly after the first, titled The Lab. Yes, as we go back to DanTDM, his story-based adventure series revolving around his lab was highly influential and inspiring to myself as I sought to follow in his footsteps. My lab series concluded its first season in August 2016 before my account would be lost. However, the story would continue for a short-lived season 2 that debuted in April 2017 before I stopped making episodes. However, in 2023, I decided to resurrect my old story and continue the legacy through reviving the series with a new season that is currently ongoing on my channel, with the series being called The Lab Returns. And yes, whilst DanTDM may still serve as my main inspiration, I am shaping the story to make it my own, and I'm now driven by other media such as films and shows that I have watched as well. Yet another series I began back then was a puppet show that utilised my Five Nights at Freddy's plushies as the main characters, with the series both being influenced by SML and more so a channel called Mario Muffet Adventures. Despite being a short-lived idea of mine back then, it presents how my consumption of those channels inspired myself to create my own stories using the same means, and as of 2025 I have rebooted the series on my new channel, which features stories told through utilising plushies, with FNAF being my main series. And lastly, on this channel is where I am seen to parody songs and scenes from films and shows, alongside my ongoing series being Max's Movie Marathon. Whilst my movie marathon was my own idea, the video that started it was an idea that came from a YouTuber by the name of George M, who reviewed every film he watched in a year. And as for the parodies, it's clear that I am directly influenced by the individual source materials with my own creative spin to demonstrate my own passion and admiration for these forms of media. These can also be linked back to early day YouTube, with those such as Smosh doing similar types of parodies back then. YouTube is a two-sided relationship. Whilst the creator's job is to upload the content, the audience serve a role of watching said content, and as a result, I have not been alone in this journey, and have had a small audience follow me through my decade of content creation, and have kindly shared their thoughts and opinions on my philosophy of consumption and creation, alongside observations of my own work over the years.
Max Roper, the man himself, has gone on to create many different forms of entertainment and media over the years from his YouTube channel. He was inspired to do these things because he saw and was inspired by pieces of media which included those types of media in them. For example, his lab videos were directly inspired by Dan TDM's lab, a piece of media which was famous for our generation, our youth years. He was inspired to do animation by his love of animation, such as BFDI, such as Inanimate Insanity, all YouTube series created by indie artists and indie animators alike, and ultimately he was inspired to do puppet videos by channels like SML and other puppet-related YouTubers. His inspirations are widespread, but ultimately he's gone on to be inspired to create more.
I think Max has used a lot of inspiration when it comes to his personal work. Look at some of his early works, he did copy a lot of trends that were seen on early YouTube, whether that be animation videos, daily life, or some plashy type videos. He made some stuff about Minecraft based on very popular YouTubers such as Dan DDM, popular MMOs, and Stampy. All the things he's consumed while he was younger has influenced what he's been doing today.
It is clear that others do agree with the idea that consuming does fuel and inspire creation, with both Gwilym and Oliver sharing their observations of my work over the last decade, as they understand that my work has been influenced by the forms of content that I too have consumed. However, the ideology can be perceived another way, and I got to see this outlook as I reached out to a widely known and famous YouTuber on the platform known as Tomska for his own mindset when it comes to content creation and how he utilizes the platform, where he kindly got back to me and shared the following. Personally, I only find inspiration when consuming media I'd like to make myself. If it's bad, I'll be inspired to do better, and if it's good, then I'll be inspired to figure out how to do it myself. But a medium I'm not interested in pursuing, like music, I simply enjoy. As Tomska shares a similar outlook that I do, he also acknowledges the other forms of content and media that he also consumes, and he shares that a large factor in his drive to create is his interest. And I agree with his assessment and ideology in regard to creation, and that the individual, myself being the main example here, must be passionate and interested in the material that they create, and that it is okay to enjoy and consume other forms of content and media without being inspired to create. And this brings me to the conclusion that I have come to throughout the analysis of my relationship with YouTube, and that of consuming and creating. Whilst these two words shouldn't be pitted against each other and seen as opposites, or even one shouldn't be seen as better than the other, as without one, the latter wouldn't be able to thrive. Without consuming, creating would be obsolete and without purpose, and without creating, there would be nothing to consume. Creativity is a cycle, and it's fueled by passion and interest, and in an idea that is almost always somehow influenced or inspired by something else. And it doesn't matter if you're a top director, a great novelist, a popular YouTuber, or just a passionate person. Creativity may be different for everyone, but the cycle is always the same. And as for my own relationship with creativity and the home that I have found myself on YouTube, I make and I have made content for a decade, and there will always be elements of those other medias that inspire me to make my own stories. But without my own passion and interest in what I'm making, my work wouldn't be what it is. And so I am driven by the love for creating that was cultivated through my upbringing between films, shows, and especially YouTube. And at the end of the day, whether it'll be 3 views, 1 like, and 10 followers that I get, or 3,000 views, 100 likes, and 1,000 followers, I am driven by the thought of my videos will be found by someone and make them smile, that I can make at least one person laugh. And that is all the reward I can possibly ask for.